Hello everyone, I am Mary Grace Arsenal, and let us start the chapter 1 by defining the word economics. Economics is defined in various ways. However, we can define economics as the efficient allocation of the scarce means of production toward the satisfaction of human needs and wants. So as we can see, kung mapansin natin, we have two important concepts in the definition of economics. First is the scarce means of production. This concept of the definition of economics refers to the economic resources like land, labor, and capital na ginagamit nato to produce all the goods and services that we need and we want. So the reason why we want to purchase or buy these goods and services is because it gives us the satisfaction. But we do not have enough resources to produce those goods and services that we desire, because our resources is limited, while the wants of the society is unlimited. So diha na mosulod ang ikaduha nga important concept sa definition sa atong economics, wherein we try to make the best of a less than ideal situation. In other words, we try to use our limited resources by efficiently allocating them so that we are able to produce all the goods and services that will maximize our satisfaction. So, diri kani nga concept sa economics nato, sa definition sa atong economics is gamito nato ang ato ang limited resources by allocating them. Meaning, ato siyang ibahin-bahin for their specific purpose or specific uses, para mas makaproduce ta og mga goods and services na mas makahatag sa ato og satisfaction. Now, let's know the origin of the word economics. So, economics comes from the Greek word oikos, that means household, and nomos, that means system or management. Kung kaning duha ka Greek word usahon, we have the oikonomia and oikonomos, that means management of household. Now let's move on to the scarcity, the central problem of economics. Scarcity is the basic and central problem of economics confronting every man and society. It is the heart of the society of economics and the reason why you are studying it now. So, ang scarcity daw, it is the heart of the study of economics. So, meaning, kung wala ang scarcity, so we don't need to study economics. Kung wala ang scarcity, dili na nato need ang economics. Kaya wala may problema. Scarcity is referred to as the problem, the central economic problem. So, dili na nato need ng economics, dili na nato need mag-study ng economics kung walay scarcity. Authors define scarcity in different ways, some of which are complexly stated, while others are simplified exposition of the concept. One author in particular defines scarcity as the commodity or service being in short supply relative to its demand. So, ang scarcity daw gidefine as kanang service nga nagkulang sa demand, service nga nagkulang sa supply. kesa sa demand. So parang inani siya nga kung ang atong supply naa diri then the demand is naa diri sa taas. So mana siya. In quantitative terms, scarcity is said to exist when at a zero price there is a unit of demand which exceeds the available supply. So muna siya nga ang ang demand naga-exceed sa atong available supply. Mao na siya ang scarcity. Now let's look at this figure of scarcity. The figure illustrates the interaction of limited resources available and unlimited ones of man and society. If limited resources fall short to meet the unlimited ones of the society, it will eventually create a problem which is called scarcity. So, kaning nga figure, nag-show ni siya sa interaction between sa limited resources nato sa unlimited ones. So, if ang atong limited resources nalabyan sa atong unlimited ones, kung ang atong resources mas mubo kesa sa demand, ang supply mas mubo kesa sa demand, mao ni siya ang gitawag nga scarcity. And let's look at this figure number 1.2, the figure of allocation. The figure depicts the relationship between available limited resources and the unlimited ones of man and society. It shows that when limited resources fail to meet the unlimited ones of the society, economics comes into play in order to effectively and efficiently allocate resources. So, kung ang atong limited resources and to meet our unlimited ones, diri na mosulod ang allocation, ang economics. Diri na mosulod ang allocation wherein ang atong resources is ibahin-bahin na to siya paggamit into their kanang ilahang particular uses. So dito ana siya mahitabo diha sa allocation. So gamito nato siya sa kanang ang atong resources ato siyang ibahin-bahin paggamit dito sa ilahang particular uses para mas productive siya, mas efficient siya o effective. Now, let's move on to the factors of production. In our previous discussions, we talked about the resources or the factors of production. This refers to the land, the labor, the capital, and entrepreneurship. So let's start from the land. The land refers to all natural resources which are God-given and found in nature, and so these are not man-made. So ang land mo ni siya ang one of our resources nga di lang siya nag-talk about sa soil or sa kanang atong gitamakan nga land, but also ang kaning makita nato sa ilalom sa land o sa ibabaw sa land, which are not man-made, dili kung binuhat sa tao. Kuan siya God-given, natural. So, for example, ana is kanang ang dagat, ang sapa, ang trees, ang mga sapa, like that. Mao na siyang examples sa land. Land can sometimes be classified as fixed resource. The compensation for the use of land is called rent. Then, let's move forward to the next factor of production, the labor. Labor is any form of human effort exerted in the production of goods and services. So, diri as a labor, it is also called as the jobs. Nga, diri as a labor, naga-exert ta og effort, naga-exert ta og kanang force to work for someone or a firm or a company para makaproduce ng goods and services. So, diri as sa labor, ang form sa compensation diri as sa labor kay kanang salary or wages. Now, diri ata sa capital. Capital is a man-made product used in the production of other goods and services. Examples aning capital is buildings, factories, machineries, and other physical facilities used in production process. So, diri sa capital, lahi ang capital sa business ug lahi ang capital sa economics. Kay ang capital sa economics, unlike sa business, ang money is ang money is a form of capital in a business, but sa economics dili siya form of capital. Kay ang capital sa economics kay nagaproduce ng goods and services. So, ang money sa economics is not a form of capital, but a form of asset used mainly as a medium of exchange. So, mauna ang capital sa economics, ang kalahian sa capital sa economics o diha sa business. So, diri ata sa entrepreneurship. An entrepreneurship is a person who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of a firm, taking a new idea or a new product and turning it into a successful business. So, tanan man ta nahibalo na unsa ang meaning sa kanang entrepreneurship. But, ang entrepreneurship usahay, gi-classify siya, ay dili lang siya usahay, oftenly gina-classify siya as part of labor. Pero since ang entrepreneurship is a special, nag-perform siya og kanang special type of work, which is naga-create siya og kanang goods and services, dili siya matawag as labor. Ang kalahian lang sa entrepreneurship og sa labor, para mas masabtan nato na dili part ng labor ang entrepreneurship, sa labor is ginasweldohan ka na kay employer. Ginasweldohan ka, wherein sa entrepreneurship is nagagain ka og kanang dili salary ang imong gigain. Nagagain ka og profit or loss ang imong makuha diri sa entrepreneurship model. The figures illustrates the flow of resources and payments for their use, as well as the flow of goods and services and payments for them. Thus, the household sector sells resources to and buys products from the business sector, while the business sector buys resources from and sells products to the household sectors. Kibali, sa factor market or diri sa resource market, mauni siya ang ginabaligya sa mga household o ginapalit sa businesses. And then, kaning households, mauni siya ang nagbaligya, naga-sell og factor market or resources and nagabay og products. And then, dinhi sa product market, makita nato, mauni siya ang gibaligya sa mga businesses ug maoy gipalit pod sa atong households. And then the businesses, mauni siya ang nagapalit sa mga factors of production or resources ug nagabaligya sa products. So that's all for my topic.
The concepts of opportunity cost. This figure illustrates the concept of opportunity cost. The savings of the firm or individual is subject to two choices between credit investments. If the savings of an individual will be put on credit, there is a possibility of earning interest or a bad debt, not getting the money back. On the other hand, when savings of an individual is invested, it may earn profit or may be subject to lose. Basic decision problems. Consumption. Member society with their individual wants determine what types of goods and services they want to utilize or consume. Production. The problem of production is generally a concern of producer. Distribution. The problem is primarily addressed to the government. Growth over time. This is the last basic decision problem that a society of nation must deal with. Four basic economic questions. 1. What to produce? The question of what to produce tells us that an economy must identify what are the goods and services needed to be produced for the utilization of the society in the everyday life of man. Number 2. How to produce. This question conveys that there is a need to identify the different methods and techniques in order to produce goods and services. Number 3. How much to produce? The question of how much to produce identifies the number of goods and services needed to be produced in order to answer the demand of man and society. Number 4. For whom to produce, this question identifies the people or sectors who demand the commodities produced in a society. 3 is in economics. Efficiency, effectiveness, and equity. Efficiency. Efficiency refers to productivity and proper allocation of economic resources. Effectiveness. Effectiveness means attainment of goals and objects. Equity. Equity means justice and fairness. Positive and normative economics. Positive economics is an economic analysis that considers economic conditions as they are, or considers economic as it is. Example, the economy is now experiencing a slowdown because of too much politicking and corruption in the government. On the other hand, normative economics is an economic analysis which judges economic condition as it should be. Example, the Philippines government should initiate political reforms in order to regain investor confidence and consequently uplift the economy.
So, we proceed for ceteris paribus assumption. So, when we say ceteris paribus assumption, ito ay nangangahulugang lahat ng iba pang bagay may katumbas. Ito ay isang aparato upang pag-aralan ang pagitan ng two variables habang ang iba ay di nagbabago. So, ceteris paribus is generally used for saying all other things is being equal. So, I have one question, or I mean, one example of ceteris paribus. So, the example of ceteris paribus assumption, we can say that if demand for a product like chicken is more than its supply. So, ceteris paribus will help you to balance. So, that is the main point of ceteris paribus assumption. It can be helps for equality. So, microeconomics and macroeconomics. So, when we say microeconomics, is the branch of economics which deals with the individual decisions of units of the economy. So, base sa microeconomics is it is individual decision, not a group. It is an individual decision, firms and household. So, I have an example of microeconomics. So, it is part of microeconomics, individual income. That is example of microeconomics. And then, saving decision. That is part of microeconomics and airline ticket. So, microeconomics, always remember that this is an individual or this is deals with the individual decision. So, after we discuss the microeconomics, we proceed for macroeconomics. So, when we say macroeconomics, is the branch of economics that studies among broad economic aggregates like national income, the national output, money supply, bank deposits, or total volumes of saving. That is part of microeconomics. So, I will add the example of macroeconomics. So, it is economic output, employment, and employment. These indicators of economic performance are closely monitored by government and businesses. That is the example of macroeconomics. Again, the microeconomics it is deals with the individual decision. But the macroeconomics it is depend and closely monitored by government and any businesses. That is the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So, we proceed for types of economic system. So, to address economic problems, several economic systems have been created and applied throughout history. So, the types of economic system, it is traditional economy, command economy, market economy, socialism, and mixed economy. So, I will explain one by one so that you can understand each types of economic system. So, before I proceed for the types of economic system, I would like to explain clearly about the types of economic system. So, types of economic system, it is focuses on the basics, good and services. They are influenced by traditions and beliefs. So, it is depending for the types of economic system. It is based on goods and services. So, I will explain now the part of traditional economy. So, when we say traditional economy, is basically a subsistence economy. So, ang traditional economy, isang ekonomiyang pangkabuhayan, ipinagmamalaki ng isang pamilya para sa sarili nitong pangkonsumo. So, that is traditional economy. So, when we say command economy, is a type of economy wherein the manner of production by the government decides on what, how much, and for whom. So, that is command economy. So, when we say command economy, ito ay ang pamahalaan ang magpapasya kung ano, paano, gaano karami at para kanino gawin. So, ang command economy, it based by the government or any economy that like the government decides on how, what, how much, and for whom. So, it depends for command economy by the government on how they manage the command economy. So that is an example of command economy. It is based for the government decision. So when you say market economy, the basic characters of market economy is capitalism. So when we say market, mga pangunahing katangian ng ekonomiya ng merkado ay ang pangunahing kapitalismo na mga mapagkukunang pribadong pag-aari at mga taong mismong gumagawa ng desisyon. So, the market economy, it is based for the capital of any private sector that is market economy. So when we say socialism is an economic system wherein key enterprises are owned by the state. So when we say socialism, sistemang pang-ekonomiya kung saan ang mga pangunahing negosyo ay pag-aari ng mga estado. So that is socialism. They are owned, or this is owned by the government. By the state, sorry. So that is socialism. So when we say or we proceed for mixed economy. So when we say mixed economy, this economy is a mixture of market, system, and the command. So mixed economy, ang ekonomiyang ito ay pinaghalong sistema ng pamilihan at sistema ng utos. So that is mixed economy. Yung mga sistema ng pamilihan, like any rules at sistema ng utos. So pinaghalo yung sistema ng pamilihan at sistema ng mga utos ng mga government, that is called mixed economy. So I hope it is clear about the types of economic system. Again, the types of economic system is traditional economy, command economy, market economy, socialism, mixed economy. So that is the types of economic system. So the last part is the importance of economic terms. So economics has its own unique language. So when we talk about economics, there are many own unique languages when we talk about economics. So for a student to truly understand the different theories in economics, an understanding of these terms should be first achieved. So the importance of economic terms, it is wealth, consumption, production, and distribution. So the first important economic terms is wealth. So wealth refers to anything that is function for goods and services. So when we say wealth, ang kayamanan ay tumutukoy sa anumang bagay na may halagang kadalasang pera na maaring ipagpalit para sa kalakal at serbisyo. So the wealth, so nakadepende daw ito kung ito ay tumutukoy na mga it is usually for money. So that is part of wealth na maaring ipagpalit para sa kalakal at serbisyo. So that is the example or the meaning of wealth for the important economic terms. So we proceed for the consumption. So the consumption refers to the direct utilization or usage of the available goods and services by the buyer, individual, or the consumer. So ang pangkonsumo ay tumutukoy sa direktang paggamit o paggamit ng mga manggagamit na produkto at serbisyo ng individual na mamimili o mamimili. So that is consumption. So we proceed for production because we already done for the consumption. So when we say production is defined as the formation or creation by firms of an output product or service. So, ang produksyon ay tinutukoy bilang ang pagbuo o paglikha ng mga kumpanya ng isang produkto o serbisyo. So, ang production is part kung paano simulan or paano i-distribute ng isang kumpanya ang serbisyo. So, that is the production. So, we proceed for the distribution. So, when we say distribution, this is the process of allocation or apportioning scarce resources to be utilized by the household. So, ang pamamahagi, ito ay ang proseso ng paglalaan o paghahati ng mga kakaunting mapagkukunan upang magamit ng sambayanan. So, that is distribution. Ang pagbibigay or pagdidistribute or that's the process or ang proseso ng distribution is yun nga mapagkukunan or paano i-distribute ang mga serbisyo sa mga sambayanan. So, that is important of economic terms. I hope it is clear. So, I hope you enjoy about our report. And then, that's all. So, I hope you have some ideas or any ideas that is related for macroeconomics and microeconomics. So, I hope it is clear and thank you.